Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we are here to read Bhagavatam again, and so wonderful. Just thinking how we were meeting with some very nice devotees last evening and discussing about reading Srila Prabhupada's books and how often devotees don't read, how often we don't read Prabhupada's books and how important it is that we do, and how literally just reading a little bit each day makes a massive and huge difference. And so just wanted to encourage everyone out there just to read a little bit every day, even if it's one page. You'll see that it's like, wow, after a month or 2 months, you'll be like, wow, I finished a book. And then that will kind of increase your taste for reading. Just a thought. So where are we?
Reading from Canto 4, Chapter 23, Text 12.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 12. When he became completely free from the conception of bodily life, Maharaj Prithu realized that Lord Krishna, sitting in everyone's heart as the Paramatma. Being thus able to get all instructions from him, he gave up all other practices of yoga and gyan. He was not even interested in the perfection of the yoga and gyan systems, for he thoroughly realized that devotional service to Krishna is the ultimate goal of life, and that unless the yogis and gyanis become attracted to Krishna Katha, narrations about Krishna, their illusions concerning existence can never be dispelled. Purport. As long as one is too much absorbed in the bodily conception of life, he becomes interested in many different processes of self-realization, such as the mystic yoga system or the system utilizing the speculative empiric methods. However, when one understands that the ultimate goal of life is to approach Krishna, he realizes Krishna within everyone's heart, and therefore helps everyone who is interested in Krishna consciousness. Actually, the perfection of life depends on one's inclination to hear about Krishna. It is therefore mentioned in this verse, Yavad Gada Graja Kartasu Ratim Na Kuryat. Unless one becomes interested in Krishna, in his pastimes and activities, there is no question of liberation by means of yoga practice or speculative knowledge. Interesting, just in relation to what you were just saying about reading and doing a little bit, and reading is the most abused method of sadhana. And what I mean is...
What about abused?
Okay,
yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm feeling abused now.
They made a court, sue me.
Because I can't explain. It's very neglected. It's because it's abused, so it's neglected. So it's like... And it's interesting because the correlation between the devotees who are peaceful and fixed and steady in relation to those who are not is very, if you see, as it says here, who is inclined of their own accord, not because I want to get initiated or because I've got to, because my husband says I have to, or my parents say you better do this, not like that, but who is inclined to know about Krishna. Read about him and his pastimes and like it, actually get some pleasure. And often when we're in England and we would have mentee meetings, I would always say, you've changed your whole, to the ladies, I'd say, you changed your whole diet, you changed the way you dress, you changed your, lifestyle. So, you're trying to wake up a little bit early, you're trying to fit certain practices in, you've let certain things go, all for one man, actually. And that isn't your guru, and that isn't Prabhupada, it's actually Krishna. Everything's focused because Prabhupada's pointing towards Krishna, and if you have a guru who's pointing towards Krishna, and it's like Krishna, 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 so then at one point we should be like, who the hell's Krishna? So maybe I need to try to find out who this man is, it's like, and what it's all about, and why is it all Krishna, Krishna, Krishna? So hopefully along the way we get a taste. But I was just saying, don't let that point actually spoil your whole path, because somewhere along the way, if you don't become interested in Krishna, then it is true, you kind of, it gets watered down and you slow down, it's not, you may be like walking on the path, you may take, let me just sit down here for a bit, or let me just go on, let me take a right turn or whatever and go here and check this out. So it's a really powerful point. I feel that we need to be interested in Krishna and his pastimes and his activities, because that's the whole point, really, sorry, but it is.
Powerful. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, I like that. The perfection of life depends on one's inclination to hear about Krishna. Of course, hearing doesn't have to necessarily just be reading. It can also be attending classes. It can be listening to lectures, listening to audiobooks, things like that. But exactly as you said, we have to hear. Okay, next paragraph. Having attained to this stage of devotion, Maharaj Prithu became uninterested in practices of Gyan and Yoga and abandoned them. This is the stage of pure devotional life as described by Rupa Goswami. Anyabila shita shunyam, Gyana karmadyanavritam, anukuyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktir uttama. Real Gyan means understanding that the living entity is the eternal servant of the Lord. And this knowledge is attained after many, many births, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 7:19. Bahunam janmanam ante gyanavan mam prapadyate. In the Paramahamsa stage of life, one fully realizes Krishna as everything. Vasudeva sarvam iti samahatma sidurlabha. When one understands fully that Krishna is everything and that Krishna consciousness is the highest perfection of life, he becomes a Paramahamsa or a Mahatma. Such a Mahatma or Paramahamsa is very rare to find. A Paramahamsa or pure devotee is never attracted by Hatha Yoga or speculative knowledge. He is simply interested in the unalloyed devotional service of the Lord. Sometimes one who was formerly addicted to these processes tries to perform devotional service and the Jnana and Yoga practices at the same time. But as soon as one comes to the unalloyed stage of devotional service, he is able to give up all other methods of self-realization. In other words, when one firmly realizes Krishna as a supreme goal, he is no longer attracted by mystic yoga practice or the speculative, empirical methods of knowledge. So this is very deep what Srila Prabhupada is stating here. It seems quite simple. Anyabilashita shunyam gyana karma adyanavritam. Gyana, karma, adi is the word, and that means other, and includes mystic yoga processes. So, ultimately giving those up, because we find that the best thing, the highest thing, the most attractive thing is bhakti. At the same time, it's not that we stop cultivation of knowledge, and it's also not that we may still continue to do some yoga as a source of well-being or health or whatever. But the subtle and important point is that we're no longer attached to those things as the means to achieve success in spiritual life. We don't think that just by doing asanas or acquiring mystic cities is the goal. But I think we were just reading previously, either here and somewhere, that it was explained that actually, if you do devotional service, naturally mystic cities will come. Remember we were reading that? I can't remember if it was in Bhagavatam or Bhakti Loka or somewhere. But so these things are like byproducts. We don't need to aspire for them. They just come of their own accord simply by the performance of devotional service. So like that.
Text 13. In due course of time, when Prithu Maharaj was to give up his body, he fixed his mind firmly upon the lotus feet of Krishna, and thus, completely situated on the Brahma Bhuta platform, he gave up the material body. Purport. According to the Bengali proverb, whatever spiritual progress one makes in life will be tested at the time of death. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, text 6, it is also confirmed, Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam tiyati ante kale varam tam tam evaiti kuntaya sadata bhava bhavita. Those who are practicing Krishna consciousness know that their examination will be held at the time of death. If one can remember Krishna at death, he is immediately transferred to Goloka Vrindavan or Krishna Loka, and thus his life becomes successful. Prithu Maharaj, by the grace of Krishna, could understand that the end of his life was near, and thus he became very jubilant and proceeded to completely give up his body on the Brahma Bhuta stage by practicing the yogic process. It is thoroughly described in the following verses how one can voluntarily give up this body and return home back to Godhead. The yogic process practiced by Maharaj Prithu at the time of death accelerates the giving up of this body while one is in sound health physically and mentally. Every devotee desires to give up the body while it is sound physically and mentally. This desire was also expressed by King Kula Shekhar in his Mukunda Mala Stotra. I've read that many years ago, but that's one of those things. I've read that, you know. And that was it. King Kula Shekhar wanted to give up his body while in a healthy state, and he thus prayed to Krishna to let him die immediately while he was in good health and while his mind was sound. When a man dies, he's generally overpowered by mucus and bile, and thus he chokes. Since it is very difficult to vibrate any sound while choking, it is simply by Krishna's grace that one can chant Hare Krishna at the time of death. However, by situating oneself in the Muktasana position, a yogi can immediately give up his body and go to whatever planet he desires. A perfect yogi can give up his body whenever he desires through the practice of yoga. Well, I don't know if you've read, and if you haven't, please do read this book called Salted Bread. I highly recommend that you read that book. It's about the devotees that were persecuted in Russia, and what they went through is pretty amazing. Pretty amazing in terms of their strength of character and their Krishna consciousness. And one of the devotees is described when he died of his own accord. He actually sat in the lotus position, and he kind of like this, actually, how it's described, and he just meditated and he sat up and he chanted and he was gone, and he chose to go. I mean, and these devotees were, they remained so strong, or should I say, because of what was going on, the tests and the obstacles, they, it solidified their Krishna consciousness. And it's very, very inspiring, very nice book to read, although it's a true story, so it's not nice, but it is inspiring to read. So anyway, that came to mind because of how what Prabhupada was describing here. But there was another point, and the point at the beginning that came to mind was, let me know what you think. I don't think it's very nice, that everything we do in Krishna consciousness, it's like, anyway, it's going to be tested when you die. That's not the time to test someone. Like, I've done a lot of tests in my life, like in school, uni and whatnot. And you don't go in when you're not feeling well. You don't go in, when you're like physically not all there. Because that's how you don't sit an exam when you're a bit crazy, as it were. So why are you doing this, Krishna? Why are you testing us when we're dying? And as like Prabhupada himself is saying, obviously Krishna's saying like, yeah, you're going to be coughing and I'm in pain and my heart's failing and my kidneys have failed on me and stopped and oh my Lord, my consciousness is going in and out. Why are you testing us then? Anyway, I don't know what everyone else thinks, but that's not on really.
Yeah, but that's the deal.
I don't know about this Krishna business.
Okay, anyway, we're all going to be tested at the time of death. Some of us are tested throughout our entire lives.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. So, anyway, thank you all very much. Please read the Bhagavatam. Please remember to, share this with your friends if you like. And you can like it, and you can
comment,
and you can subscribe.
And share.
I said share. Share was the first one. Anyway, Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai.